So yeah, the first time that I met a member of the LGBTQ community was my year 1 in school. So prior that time, each time they mention LGBTQ, gay, lesbian, coming from the kind of family that I came from, the first thing our parents say is, God forbid, agent of the devil, and all that, they are from the kingdom of hell, hellfire, all these spiritual homes. That's the first thing that people say. So I always thought that the gay and the lesbian thing were always a spiritual thing, prior that time, until the first day I went to the bank, and then that's to pay my year 1 school fees. When I got there, there was a very long queue, so I had to basically skip a lot of queues. Like I had to walk through, so it took me like 3-4 hours. Then I got into the bank, and the kind of noise because of the queue and a lot of people. It was the time, I think there was deadline for school fees or something like that, so we all needed to pay our school fees at that point. That's the freshers. So when we got into the bank, the noise and all that, all of a sudden I realized that when I was trying to write my school fees on the teller and all that, I just realized that everything just went from and then it just went down to shh, and I was like, okay, because I didn't turn back. So the first thing, I clutched my money, hold it very tight, because I die here today. If you collect my school fees, I go change up for you, whether or not you're carrying a gun, basically. So when I turned back, I realized that there was somebody who was wearing a green jacket and putting up something like a dread, or I don't know if it was dread or just low cut, but a little bit like Coco, for example. Now he just walked all the way down, no queue, nothing. He just entered the bank and walked into the bank, went to the cashier, did his transactions, didn't take a lot of time, and then when he was done, he walked outside, and nobody in the bank said pim. That day was, I don't know, like, how would somebody on normal day, normal Nigerians, the moment you want to skip a queue, everybody will be like, chairman, how far now, kilo shele? Do you understand? That's our reaction. But on this particular day, he just went inside, did what he wanted to do, and then he went out. And I had somebody who I just met like for the first time there, where we were talking. I was like, please, who is this person? Because at that point I was lost, because he was dressed like a man. He wore a green jacket and a trouser, but then he had makeup on his face. So that in itself was scary to me, because that's the first time I was seeing something like that. He had makeup on his face, like real normal makeup, and he just went, and everybody was not like, "Na Bobrisky be that, na Bobrisky be that," and I was like, wow. Okay, I never knew Bobrisky was short, but on this particular day he was looking so short. So I was like, wow, wonderful. So that was the first time that I had any encounter with the LGBTQ community, and at that point, the first thing that came to my mind is, this guy a demon? Is this guy a devil? Is this guy? Because that's what I've been fed. That's the height of knowledge I had at that point. Do you understand? And we even had this don't go to Unilag Marire hostel because there are gay boys there and everybody's scared to go there and all that. So I decided to actually calm down. I said, you know what? I actually want to learn about the LGBT community. I want to know are these people actually, because when people talk about gays and all that in Nigeria, you would think that they are talking about animals. Like, I was talking to somebody about human rights and the fact that gays should also have human rights, and then the person, intellectually speaking, and then the person told me, well, I don't think that they have rights like human rights. They have any right to human rights because human rights only applies to humans. And I am not joking. This person is a northern student, like he comes from northern part of Nigeria, he schools in northern part of Nigeria, and then he blatantly said that they do not have human rights. A law student. Why? Because their sexual preference seems to be different from others. And then when I asked him for his reason, he said, well, logically looking at it, any animal that you find would not, like a male animal would not go to a male animal, that a male animal would naturally go to a female animal. So even the animals know better. That was his argument. And therefore, if a human being decides to do that, then he falls short of the requirement of being a human being. That was the first time I was hearing that argument. I am not joking. So I decided to dig deeper and know what the law on this particular matter says, know other things and biological things and all that. And the next episode, I'm going to be talking about the law. That is the SSMPA, the Same Sex Marriage Prohibition Act. What does it say? And then after that, we'll talk about the constitutionality of this particular law. So I'll see you in my next episode.